Don't just live for tomorrow, or just live in yesterday. Just be glad for all you have that's in today.
Hey everyone, Connie here, and welcome to my blind reaction to One Piece, episodes 849 to 852. So this is the last One Piece reaction. Now, I think this is going to be the last reaction before we start One Piece week next week. Oh wait, no, Ruby is after this. Ruby is tomorrow still, so there is still that. Um, one of the last reactions before we start One Piece week next week. But yeah, so we didn't get to One Piece last week due to everything that had gone on. So I wanted to at least get to some this week. So we didn't just have 2 weeks off of One Piece before the One Piece week. Because we're already going to take a week off after as well. So I want to at least get to some this week too. Because, you know, the entire reason I'm doing the One Piece weeks is to catch up. And if we don't do One Piece other times, it's like it's not really helping as much with that. But yeah. So last we left off, Brook and Chopper had been fighting Perospero, and they lost. They gave a good fight and managed to beat up a lot of the homies, but they were no match for Perospero's candy powers. The rest of our team, meanwhile, were coming through the forest. Sanji went with Pudding and oh god, what is her name? Chiffon, to make the cake to satiate Big Mom. So they left, but the rest of our team was still trying to escape from Big Mom, who's chasing them. They managed to get her back a bit and managed to get to where the Sunny is, but that's when they see the scene happening and everything, and now they're getting involved in the fight against Perospero, because they want to obviously take the ship and head off too. So yeah, a lot is happening. Katakuri's on the ship too, so there's that, which definitely makes me think that the fight between Luffy and Katakuri is going to happen soon. Just because they're arriving at the ship, Katakuri's there and everything. So yeah, I definitely think that's going to happen soon. As for defeating Perospero, it's going to be tricky because his powers are actually pretty dangerous. So we're just going to kind of have to see what can be done in this situation. But I'm very, very excited. Like this arc, like I said before, has been just fantastic, and I can't wait to see, honestly, how it ends. We're getting there. We still got quite a bunch of episodes still to go, but we're in the home stretch now. We are in the climax of the arc, so we're getting to that point where we are going to eventually finish it out. I want to say probably by sometime in maybe February, maybe even January. I don't know. Depends on like how quickly we go, and also I haven't actually counted how many episodes it's going to get to with the One Piece week, so we'll have to see from there. So it might actually be January, it might even be by the end of December. I don't know. I can't math, and I'm not even going to try to write right now. But yeah. Honestly, based on what we have had so far with this arc, though, this is one of my favorite arcs of the series, without question. The creativity, the genuine intensity, Big Mom being a legitimately threatening enemy, like, all of that combines to make one really great arc. Plus, of course, the stuff with Sanji and his family. You got all these great new characters, and even the characters who aren't super important or like this huge deal are still really interesting, really cool, really well made. And I've said it before, I say it again, Oda is really great at making characters. That's definitely his strong point. The world building is fantastic as well, but the characters always have stood out in One Piece. like above pretty much any other series I've ever seen. The characters have just always stood out in the best way. And even for the ridiculousness of some of them. Yeah, a lot of these characters are stupid ridiculous, but in the best way, in a way that makes it feel fun and whimsical and interesting. Like you want to know more about them because they're so ridiculous. And it's like you have fun watching them and seeing what kind of shenanigans they get into, whether they're the good guys or the bad guys, or even in some cases neutral parties. So it's really interesting, and you never know like what kind of characters you're going to get next. Um, so yeah, it's always fantastic going through this series and seeing all of that. Because early on in the series, I would have never thought we'd get characters like we've seen in this arc. It never really occurred to me. I never thought we'd get a character like Big Mom or any of her children, really. So it's like, yeah, it didn't necessarily take me by surprise. It's just I didn't really expect it per se. It just wasn't something I necessarily thought we were going to go with for this show, but we did. So yeah. Um, but yeah, I'm very interested to see where this goes. We're at a very high intensity moment in these episodes right now. Like I said, big climax going down. Big Mom is facing her hunger pangs and she's chasing them through the forest. They just get out, but she's still coming up behind them. So it's like, yeah, there's a lot going on right now, and it's all kind of culminating, which is always fun to see because it's always fun to see how our heroes are going to get out of this. Um, it's going to be interesting if they do manage to get back the Sunny and sail away, and Big Mom just chases them by going like walking along the seabed. I really kind of want to see that. I think they like had a little like cutesy chibi animation for that to show like, oh yeah, she would do that in her hunger pain state. But it's like I actually want to see her do it because that would, I don't know, for some reason that just seems like it would be really funny to me. Um, we'll see though. We'll see. I don't know what to really expect with these episodes. I have again some guesses, but that's about it. We're gonna kind of have to see how it actually goes down. So that being said, let's just get this going. When the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black and then fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the episodes. So, that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So, very intense set of episodes here. But only a few like very notable things happened. It's just they happened over the course of these 4 episodes and like was really focused on. Um so yeah. Let's get this out of the way first. So while fighting Perispero and everything and trying to get back onto the ship and get the ship to leave, Pedro sacrificed himself in order to save everyone else by stopping Perispero and allowing them to escape. And while Perispero managed to survive with just some notable wounds and injuries and all, including a missing arm, the sacrifice was still effective in allowing them to escape, as well as breaking the candy spell in the first place, allowing Chopper and Brooke to survive and everything. So it was a successful sacrifice. As Jinbei put it, it was Pedro's victory. He succeeded in what he was truly trying to do there. The only thing that it didn't do that he was trying to was take out Perispero for good. which leads to the problem of him helping Big Mom cross the water. So that's another issue they now have, as Big Mom and the ships are chasing down the Sunny as it's heading towards Cacao Island. Meanwhile, on Cacao Island, Sanji, Chiffon, and Pudding have arrived and are starting to work on the cake. Pudding used her devil fruit ability to edit the memories of all the head chefs, so they think that Sanji and Pudding are married now, and that the wedding went off and that the cake was destroyed because of weather, so they have to still make the cake and everything. So it was a very genius use of her powers, honestly. Like, I was wondering how they were going to do it. I didn't even think about using her powers, but it's so obvious. And the way she did it, having them all enter one by one, was super smart as well. So yeah, I really like how they implemented that. So yeah, not much else to report on there other than the fact that they're getting started. They're working on it. That's all. They made sure that no one outside would end up coming in or looking in even. So yeah, not much of anything else to report on that. The only more interesting thing is, like, we found that Sanji could, like, he recreated the cake blueprints perfectly, not only just structurally but even from the ingredients. He could tell every single ingredient, even the secret ingredient, by smell, which is insane. But we know Sanji's like that freaking good of a cook that he's like, he could do that much, which is obviously unrealistic, but still, it's One Piece. um, while all that's going on, Luffy had dragged Katakuri into the mirror world after Brule popped her head out and smashed the mirror so they couldn't get back. He started to fight Katakuri, but Katakuri appears to be just completely overpowering Luffy in every way. Every move Luffy can do, Katakuri can emulate using his own abilities. And not only can he emulate them, he can emulate them stronger. He can make his elephant guns and elephant gatlings bigger. He can move faster. While Luffy technically actually only has two fists and he's just moving fast enough that it seems like there's more, Katakuri can actually have as many as he wants. So Katakuri is just completely outmatching Luffy. And so you gotta wonder, like, how the hell is Luffy gonna be able to defeat him? He's facing down an enemy whose abilities allow him to pretty much do everything Luffy can do, which, as I mentioned in the reaction, is exceptionally interesting. Just the idea that Oda did that, that is really fascinating. But on top of that, he does them better and he's stronger, and he has his observation haki that's so powerful he can see everything that's going to happen. At this point, like, Conqueror's haki would be Luffy's big salvation, especially since at the end there we saw they found another mirror that leads to the ship, the Straw Hat ship. So, and they're about to shoot flaming arrows into it, burning the ship, which would be obviously very bad. So it's like, what's going to happen? How is this going to be stopped? Conqueror's haki would probably solve that. So we're going to have to see how that goes once we get into the next episodes next week during One Piece Week. Yeah, like, these episodes, like, I felt really fucking bad for Carrot, like, the entire time after Pedro's sacrifice. And especially once learning about how much Pedro, like, trained her and how much he just meant to her in general. Like, it's really heartbreaking. And it's not just because I like Kara so much. It's not just because she's one of my favorite characters in the show and because I find her super cute and everything. It's not just because of that. The fact is, through Oda's writing and everything, it's been made clear that, like, these are characters you're supposed to like. Oda had written them in such a way that you can't help but like them. You can't help but really fall in love with Carrot, her innocence, her naivety, but also her strength, her heart, her just fun dynamics that she has with all the crew. Which is, again, another reason why she would make a fantastic addition to the crew. And then Pedro. Like, Pedro is made out to be like this really cool, suave, just badass character who also has exceptional heart and care, who will do whatever it takes to help out those close to him. And it's just like these characters are literally written to be likable. And we've spent enough time with them by this point that we've fallen in love with them. We care about them. We want to see them happy. We want to see them overcome the odds. So that scene, the sacrifice and Carrot's reaction to it, is exceptionally heartbreaking because of both of those reasons. Because Pedro dies. He sacrifices himself. And yes, while it's a victory, he still dies. He doesn't overcome the odds. And Carrot, so fucking heartbroken by it, just completely emotionally destroyed. You see these two big characters who, at this point in this saga, who have become mainstay characters of the saga at this point. You see how they've become so beloved, and then you see one of them taken away, and the other one's so heartbroken over it that it affects you as a viewer. Like, I felt that heartache that Carrot was feeling. I felt the pain. I understood it because Oda made sure we as viewers or readers, for those who read the manga, would understand it. And that's part of the beauty of Oda's writing. Like I mentioned before, he is a phenomenal character creator. He is amazing at crafting these in-depth, amazingly written characters to where you do fall in love with them. But he's also good at writing emotion. He gets you to care about characters. He gets you to care about situations. Hell, the Alabasta saga alone is very much proof of that. You become so enthralled with Vivi's struggle that you can't help but to feel every bit of pain she feels, and to feel every bit of determination that Luffy and them feel to help her. It's the same kind of thing. And Oda is so fantastic at that. It just continues to show every single arc. And in some cases, every single episode. And it's one of the just most impressive things I've seen in any form of media. To almost 900 episodes in, still be this effective at characters, at world building, at emotion, at storytelling, at all of this. 900 episodes in, however many chapters in it is in the manga at this point, to still be this damn good at it it's impressive beyond reason. And that's why there's jokes out there. That's why there's jokes out there about Oda being a god, about Oda having his own devil fruit power of writing. There's all these jokes that the fans like to say, like to throw around about stuff like that. And it's like that's exactly why, because this far into the series, it's still that good. Even if you're not as big a fan of the arcs and their overall plots and like tones and ideas, like you can't at this point deny the quality. Even if you're a manga only and think the anime like cuts back on too much and whatnot, it's like the storytelling is still there. The characters are still there. The emotion and world building are still there. Like that's not taken away. Even if the animation at some points may be less than perfect, even if they might stretch it out like far beyond necessary, it's all of that is still there. It's like it's phenomenal to me. It's just so damn good. And part of that, yeah, is going to be because of how much I've just enjoyed this arc in general. Yeah, so my thoughts are going to be very positive regarding how it's going currently. But it's just like, it's one of those shows where I keep being surprised. Not just everything always impresses me, I'm actually legitimately surprised constantly at where it goes, at what these characters do, etc., etc. It catches me off guard in the best of ways. And I couldn't ask for anything better. Honestly, like I've talked about it before, One Piece is easily one of my favorite shows of all time, one of my favorite pieces of media of all time. Not just for shows, but pieces of media in general. And honestly, it might be my number one. I'll be completely honest about that. But the problem is, it's hard to say that when there's still so much to go still. Like, I'm not even caught up. And there's still quite a lot to go from where it is caught up. So it's like, it's hard to actually rank it when it's like that. Plus, there's certain arcs and stuff I haven't seen for a long time. And there's even some arcs that I've only actually seen once. Like, I've only seen Dressrosa once, for example. I've seen some parts of it, like clips here and there, but I've actually only seen the arc itself once, and honestly, that's partially because it's so fucking long. But still, it's like going through it again with these reactors I've been watching, Ruff and AJ Rich, allows me to appreciate certain parts more than I even remember appreciating them. Skypiea being a big one, like I appreciate and enjoy that more than I remember having done so before, and I always liked it before, and so many more arcs like that. Hell, even Town was more enjoyable watching again after so long. But yeah, it's like I've just been enjoying this arc so much, and these 4 episodes, like with the climax upon us and everything, really showcase why, honestly. And at this point, it's like I don't know how far this is going to go to where it can remain this good. Um, but going back to the focus here, these episodes, while having a lot of things actually focused on, the big hype thing is, of course, the fight, Luffy versus Katakuri. Everything else is also big, also important, and also really intense and enjoyable to watch. But the Luffy versus Katakuri fight, honestly, for me at least, was something I was looking forward to because I did know about it beforehand. I had mentioned that before. Since I did know about Luffy versus Katakuri beforehand, it was something I really was looking forward to, and I haven't been disappointed, even though it's been so one-sided so far. Actually, I kind of like that because with it starting out so one-sided, it allows us to be excited for when Luffy does start to gain advantage. Even though you don't know how it's going to happen, the fact that you do know it will, it's like it's getting you excited, like trying to figure out what's going to happen, what's he going to do to turn this around, and it's like how's he, what's he going to do to even match Katakuri? It's like you're really getting excited for that. And I don't know how many episodes this is going to last, this fight. Um, I wouldn't think too many, honestly, because the fight's already technically been going on a couple episodes. And on top of that, like there's not too much I feel they can do with what we've got so far. I mean, with the baking of the cake, the crew fleeing from Big Mom and them, um, and the fight, those are really the only big plot points currently happening. So it's like those three big plot points. There's not too long they could really stretch that out with. Um, and honestly, most of these next episodes are probably going to be dedicated to the fight itself. The other, maybe a little bit of the other stuff, but not as much. The fight is definitely, I feel, going to take up more time for obvious reasons. But I don't know. We'll have to see. Unless something else happens, which is possible, that changes things. We'll have to see. Um, but either way, as I have said, next week is our second One Piece week. Um, as I've stated in the past, the One Piece weeks are going to be few and far between. I'm going to have them sporadically spread out. And they're just as a way to help catch up because just doing the 4 episodes a week sometimes isn't enough since we're so far behind still. So every now and again, we'll do a One Piece week where it will be just an entire week of One Piece. So next week, God, I don't remember the exact order, and I don't think I have it like on one of my documents that I currently have up. I believe that Sunday is the top 10. Monday and Tuesday are reactions to the series. Wednesday is the AMV. Thursday and Friday are reactions to the series, and Saturday is the movie. So that will be all of next week, starting Sunday, going into Saturday. Um, so basically, I've just got a lot of work to do to get ready for that. So yeah, which it's very possible, it's very doable, but yeah. Um, Either way, we'll get to that next week. So in the meantime, tell me in the comments below what you thought of these 4 episodes of One Piece. And for now, yeah, I'm Connie and I'm signing off. See you all next time.